So that would have also sent a pretty strong message. Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky joins me now. Senator, good to see you. Thanks for coming back today. What goes through your mind as you listen to your good friend Dr. Fauci say that?
Well, my question to him would be, did you just discover vaccine immunology? Did you not believe in vaccine immunology a couple of weeks ago when I asked you this? Or were you doing it for show? And it sounds like you heard him say he didn't want people to see him without a mask. The thing is, the science hasn't changed. We've known that when you're vaccinated, we've known this for quite a while, that you're not transmitting it and not getting it. We've known that for months now. But also vaccine immunology, if you believe in it, if you believe in the vaccine, that's what happens. You don't have to wear a mask afterwards. But realize they're still pushing this on our kids now because they're saying you have to have been vaccinated. But kids who have not been vaccinated should be allowed to run track outside without a freaking mask. They fired some coach in New Hampshire recently because he wasn't making the kids wear a mask while running outside. They're going to make these kids do it for another year. So I'm glad some governors are pushing back. Kids do not need to spend another year in school wearing masks. There's no science to back it up.
Yeah, I saw a story this morning on Fox and Friends about 2 high school athletes who passed out because they had masks on. One of them barely made it across the finish line in track. The other one was playing basketball. Here's, when it comes to the science, here's what Dr. Fauci said about the difference between the last administration and this one. I want to get your take on this, Senator.
Obviously, well, yes, you could argue about whether or not there should have been more of planning about it and discussing about it. But the one thing that is true is that what you're seeing now that you didn't see before was a considerable degree of independence on the decision-making process based on the science. That's the good news. There's no doubt about that.
So he's suggesting that the last administration didn't allow them on the task force to be independent about the science.
I think history will demonstrate that the only thing that affected the course of this pandemic was the vaccine. Government did have a role in it. The Trump administration had a big role in this. But all of the other things will ultimately find out to be irrelevant and ineffective. 6 feet of distancing didn't work. Mask with cutting your undershirt up and making it into a mask doesn't work. None of the other mitigation strategies did anything. When we were at the height of all mandates and lockdown, the incidence of the infection was at its highest. There's no correlation between lockdown strategies, Fauci mandates, and the correlation with the disease. None of it worked other than the vaccine.
It's interesting that you say that. Put this up on the screen real quick. We're almost out of time. But total COVID deaths per 100,000 people. This is the measure, right? Look at this. Florida, Texas, New York has the highest of all, and then you have Michigan. When you look across the country, the deaths per 100,000 rate is fairly consistent with some outliers in New York and New Jersey on the high side, regardless of the fact that they had a completely different policy and approach to the whole thing. Real quick, sir.
Yeah, none of the lockdowns worked, and the only thing they did in New York was something that was incorrect, and that was putting people from the nursing homes back in the nursing home. That led to thousands of deaths, and that's why their record's so bad.
Indeed. Senator Rand Paul, thank you. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.